My name is Anthony Simcoe, and I play General Ka D'argo.
D'argo, would you wait?
No, I'm giving the orders now.
D'argo, just listen. He's not good at listening, is he?
D'argo is a wonderful character to play because he's gruff, but he's like an adolescent warrior. He wants to be the strongest, best tactician fighter in the whole galaxy, but actually his inexperience shows through quite a lot of the time. So it makes him quite three-dimensional. He's not just the blasting warrior. He's not just the incompetent person. He's a person who's 18, 19 if he was an Earthling.
How old are you?
30 cycles.
Oh, you are but a boy.
I am not. I am a Luxan warrior. I have seen 2 battle campaigns.
Only 2.
D'argo is 30 cycles, which we think at the moment is around about 30 years. But in Luxan terms, he's still very much an adolescent, although maybe he isn't, because in further episodes later on, a big dark secret from his past is revealed, which I won't give away at the moment.
It certainly seems to be, at first glimpse, the person most likely to be captain of the ship, most likely to be the person to lead this troop. The problem is, he's actually a teenager. He's very young and very inexperienced. So although he's got certainly the physical prowess and the emotion, and the courage and the emotional desire to be the leader, he's not. So we've got something working for us and something working against us.
He made a very big mistake and ended up arrested by the peacekeepers. And he wants himself to be a great warrior. He wants to be the great fighter, brute strength, brutality. He wants that, and at the same time, in his race, the Luxans, he's actually a little bit of an intellect and a little bit of a little bit too gentle, and a little scared, and so that's his character that's really kind of wonderful. He's got this very strong image, and it's very scary, but when you poke it, there's not much there. You know, he's actually quite scared and can't quite live up to his image, and his pride, it often gets in the way of him doing anything.
He would love to hear that. He would love to hear you say, oh, he's such a brutish character. He would go, yeah, I've really sold it. Things are fine. But he's actually not. That's his facade. He wants to be the strong, nurturing leader of the group, but he's got so many more lessons to learn before he gets there.
It's real. I can feel her. I can touch her.
You were fantasizing about her. Remove her from your thoughts.
Trust me, I'm trying. Hey, check the attitude, pal.
Well, this wonderful thing that you see before you was first designed by Kevin Hunter, who does lots of the drawings for Farscape. And then those drawings were given to Nigel Booth, who was an absolutely wonderful prosthetic makeup person who's based in London, did The English Patient, did Ralph Fiennes, and has done many other wonderful films around the world. And it was Nigel's job to sculpt this. I went to London, and they did a live cast, and I worked with Nigel in London, and from that we worked out how we could fit all this onto my body. And then Nigel came out and did the first block of the episode with us, and the costume was designed here by Terry, our designer, and now that Nigel's left, the makeup is put on by Colin Ware, who's another English makeup artist, and also Elka Wardiger, who's a fantastic Australian prosthetic makeup artist. So they're both responsible for putting me together in the morning. I've got a balaclava that fits over my head, then a helmet that sits on top of that, and then this piece here, which is a separate piece from this piece, where's the join, sits on top of that helmet there. And then there are some separate pieces with tentacles that attach and clip on to the back section. My 2 lower side tentacles are actually attached to the same piece that's my chest piece. So they're attached to the balaclava sort of bodysuit. So there's lots and lots of different layers. I think from the back, if Elka can correct me, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces plus some extra wigs that they add on at the last moment. I'm actually a 6'6" dorky guy with long blonde hair.
Everyone, thank you for a final rehearsal.
Have you worked out a preference for how you'd like to put your hands up here?
No, I probably shouldn't touch him at all, should I? Because it's going to be a continuity nightmare. Yeah, you're right.
I think
Thanks.
being this Luxan adolescent, D'Argo really doesn't have a clue on how to handle women. He hasn't got them down at all. So I think it's very easy for them to throw him off course at any stage. And Zan is very much in control of who she is as a woman, if you like, as a Delvian priest. And in this way, she's quite... manipulative is probably the wrong words because it sounds devious, but I think she's got a great handle on D'Argo, and she really knows how to put him in his place and when. Because often when he's off blustering, trying to take over, she's actually the one who can come along and go, look, settle down, D'Argo, there's actually another way to go here.
Ready? Stand by. Quiet, please. Rehearsal.
And action!
Yes, pilot, that is understood. The female peacekeeper and the other human have just escaped, and there's a full command carrier en approach to this planet.
A full carrier. Grace. But it makes no sense for him to come after us himself.
Unless the two who just escaped are something very special. This barter session is over.
That local dweller said that this planet is on the outskirts of the uncharted territories.
That the fact that the voice changes and my physicality changes and I've got this wonderful makeup on really helps me convince myself and everyone around me that I am this Luxan warrior. It's such a joy to play. It's absolutely fantastic.
Was that necessary?
It felt good. Give me navigation now.
This suit has about 4 different layers. And it's a very, very hot suit, so after doing any action scenes, whatever, the sweat sort of builds up on the inside of the suit, very charming, and creates a great deal of heat. So that's why I've got to have this air conditioner with me wherever I go. So it's a portable one that we take out on location and all around the place. It's fun and games in Team D'Argo land. Even though there's all these things on top of me, I'm still very much in control of eyebrow movement. You still get all the same facial subtleties that you get out of a normal human face. And we talked about that. I went over to London before they'd actually made the costume. We had some meetings there and we talked about the mobility of the face, and that was a real concern for all of us. Because as soon as you get a locked off mask, which you do get in lots of prosthetic work, then you really lose a sense of that character being real. If you don't get all the subtleties of emotion and mood and psychological change that the face portrays, then you just lose it. And fortunately with D'Argo, he can be so minutely subtle in the type of signals he's delivering to the camera that I'm really pleased and proud of the makeup team for being able to achieve that.
No matter what the others say, I see you and me together.
D'Argo, tell me. Let me help you. Who is Lowland?
Acting with puppet characters is really incredible because I loved watching The Dark Crystal when I was a kid and Labyrinth and films like this, and I was really intrigued to find out how they actually worked it. And now that I'm actually there acting opposite things like Rigel and the proprietor and whatever guest puppet characters we have come in, I'm finding it a really fascinating process.
These are my friends.
Friends? You? You've only just met them.
You do get involved in the character, with the character in a scene as you would with any other character, but you certainly don't forget that you're working with a puppet, because just out of shot you've got 5 guys. You've got wonderful John Eccleston, who's a fantastic puppeteer from London, actually inside Rigel and doing most of his mouth motions, his opening mouth motions like that, and he has another joystick on his hip that he's sort of working there. Then another man separately off to the side working eyebrow movements and eyes, and some other blokes around the side with their hands through. So I don't actually ever forget that I'm working with a puppet, so there's so much paraphernalia around you, which makes it an interesting challenge for us always to shoot Rigel.
My friends are Ilonic.
genetic cousins to the Luxans. Our races have been blood allies for over 1,000 cycles. We shall extend them every courtesy. Is that clear?
And can't pull out the sword. Unless you have standby props come and grab it and give it to me. He's a warrior who can't take out his sword!